Alright everybody, welcome back to another Oblivion mod playthrough. It is I, Xilestar, and today we're going to be playing Gates to Aesgaard, Episode 2. Ooh, we're doing a sequel. Alright, so we've been looking for you, Chosen One. I'm the leader of an ancient cult named Fequarian Order, a secret organization of mages and fighters who stand against Stokan's demonic powers. Through the ages. Some time ago, you lost a friend, Ashen Rose. We are informed of about Rose's death, but even now, even in death, she still suffers. Her soul has been captured by the Cursed Ones. We can help you, but you must help us first. Find an abandoned cabin in the outskirts of Bruma if you want to learn more. Fequarian Order. Alright, I received a mysterious letter by an unknown cult named the Fequarian Order. Although my friend Ashen Rose died, her soul has been captured by the Cursed Ones. I might have a second chance to help her after all. If I want to know more, I should travel to a deserted cabin in the outskirts of Bruma. Alright, so... yeah, I want to check something. Okay, so I did fix it. Well, quotations, fixed it. I want to see if this actually is the right version. Okay, so 273 and 4. Okay. What if I did one of these? I'm not attacking. What are you talking about, game? Who's attacking? Alright, let's see. It is the right one. Alright. Perfect. That's awesome. That means that this is the up-to-date version, which doesn't... I forgot I did update it. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it from now on, alright? So we're gonna play with the regalia for the most part for any of the future mod playthroughs, which will probably this might be the last one.
Can you spare a coin?
Let us continue.
So it might be the last one. I'm not 100% sure, but here is what I'm going to do. Okay. So if this is the last one, for now, I apologize. But for now, what we're going to do is that, depending on how it goes later on down the line, down the pipeline kind of thing, if I do end up coming back to Oblivion at some point, which I will more than likely do, after Endroll and maybe even after Skyrim, I'm not quite sure. Actually, I don't know about Skyrim, maybe not. But yeah, I might try and do some more Oblivion mod playthroughs for you guys, but pretty much, yeah, so from now on, we're going to have a separate fame, infamy, and bounty system. So right now what happens is that because we have the regalia equipped, since we have the regalia equipped, we have the Dark King's bounty, the Dark King's fame, and the Dark King's infamy. Okay. Now, if I were to unequip the regalia and go back to those stats, you'll see that my bounty has been restored. It was always 0. Our fame has been restored to 273. Very nice. And our infamy has been restored to 4. Now, this is not true, because I can definitely tell you for a fact, I think it's Ivlon. I think Ivlon gives you some infamy, so take that with a grain of salt, right? So, the idea is going to be for this, right? So, for the way that we're going to be doing for future mod playthroughs is that I'm going to be going through every single mod again, finding out the fame, the infamy, and the, well, not really the bounty nearly as much, because with the Dark King's orb, I can just remove it in general, so it doesn't really matter, but for everything else, I'll find out what it is, and I'll be creating a bat file that will change this accordingly, right? And then that'll be fine. But the idea is pretty much sound, right? Like, so the reason why I wanted to do this is because, like, right now we can, if I didn't have this system, we can actually legitimately use this weapon right here. Now, this weapon's supposed to be very, very powerful. It has all of these effects plus all of what Twisted Light gives you, all in one little neat bow, right? So I kind of didn't want to do that. So I kind of wanted to switch that up a little bit. So there's that too, right? And also, just like last time, I also have this bad boy right here. which gives us an extra spells to use in our repertoire kind of thing. We now have more spells that we can use. And I wanted to show off something else too. It has been fixed, but not in the way that I wanted, but hey, it's fine. I'm gonna teleport to home. So this is now all located within my mod now, so all the sky pieces, the sounds that come from the sky, they all come from my mod now. And I wanted to get into this as well. So, if I were to go to this armory crate thing here... No, it's under there. Where is it? I am blanking on where I have it. Oh, right, yeah, I've been using this stuff now. So this is where I now have the Dark King's Regalia and the travel bag that actually works kind of thing. And then up here, I have night vision goggles. We're not going to be using them for this mod because it kind of ruins the world of the mod kind of thing. But this is actually a very cool thing. Now this has my old system, which kind of is a little buggy. It's in a way, it's not bugged in a way that like it's broken. It's bugged in a way that like if it's nighttime, right? So night vision goggles, you want to activate it at night. So if you activate it at night, go inside an area, it'll still work, which is cool. It still works, right? But if you wanted to go back out and it's still night kind of thing, it will ask you, hey, since it's night, do you want to reactivate it? That's the only problem. Other than that, yeah, it works fine. But I did ask for help and somebody did give me a fix for it, but not the way that I wanted it though. They have it so that you can set it permanently, which I don't want, but it's fine. And then we also have this one, which does exactly what they do, except for even in the morning it does it too. And, of course, detects life, right? So, that too. And, of course, if I wanted to go with no enchantments, I can go to this one, which is the same as that one, except for it has no enchantments. And same thing with this. We have all this stuff here, too. Hooray! Yeah, I'm going to try and put everything having a weight now. I think I don't have... Yeah, I don't have that thing in here, and I don't want to stay in here for as long as I can. So, we're going to back out. But yeah, the idea is that, like... I wanted to make sure that everything is all good to go, kind of thing. So, everything has a weight now, for the most part. Not the mystical relic, but that's beside the point. Paralyzed test doesn't need to because it's literally just to test the paralysis effect. So that's all it is. And then this is supposed to be a god item, so that's the reason why it doesn't have one anyway. So I have my... Oh, I have buffed Light of Fate. I have buffed it to 120 seconds. I think I said I was going to do that last time. Yeah, I think I said it did it last time. So that buffed it up just... So that way, though, it has more duration. That's it, double the duration. And I think I also debuffed something else. Oh, right, I changed all the ones that come from the necklace, or the amulet. So, Aquatic Step, obviously, is 125. I think that's close to Physical Amplification. No, that's a little bit more than Physical Swiftness, which makes sense, because this boosts all of what it does, but it also gives you Feather, which is really good. And not only that, it also gives you Water Walking, which is also very good. It also gives you Dispel, which is very nice, because if you have harmful effects, you can... While I would love to say it would dispel harmful effects, that's not exactly what Dispel does. Dispel does both beneficial and harmful effects, so there's that too. Ease the Burden, I think I weakened it by, like, having the magnitude of it. But I think the cost is about right. I might want to double check it. I think I made it close to what the vanilla is. I think I just wanted to round it off a few in the few edges kind of thing. This is about as close as it's going to get to the original Magicka cost. And this is actually pretty powerful too. Like, this gives you 45 armor and resistance to the elements by 15% for 60 seconds. That's a lot. Let's see here. What else does it do? Oh yeah, the summons. Yeah. So this is as max as it's gonna get. The way that it works for summons is very differently towards this. So these summons would cost about, I think it's like 10,000, I think, or at least the Lich one is like 10,000 Magicka for this kind of thing. And same thing with the Wraith. I think it's like 10,000 or not 10,000. I think it's like 3,000 or something like that. So just to make them more neutral, I chose these two like costs kind of thing. The Servant one is as close as it's gonna get, unless I want to add the extra 25 just to make it definitively the max. Because that's literally what it has to be. It has to be 325 max, and that's if the amulet has the boost and you were Draminated. That's how I determined the cost. And between the both of them, it's about 325. I think it's 300. But I think like I chose like an extra 25 just as just to make sure that it's not like you have 18 spells, right? Where they have 300 as the cost because they're all overpowered, right? I chose to try and be at least a little bit more not favor, but like just to give them at least difference of cost. And of course, the difference between these two is actually kind of interesting. So the Servant one is kind of interesting because the Servant is slow, but it uses a staff to do a lot of the damage as well as it does its own stuff. And the Spirit, it's a ghost. It's a ghost without a weapon. So it's kind of nerfed itself, right? And then for this stuff, Beguiling Voice makes a lot of sense. It's just a very weak persuasion thing. That's all it is. I think I might have weakened it. I'm not 100% sure if I did. Corrode Living Shell. Command the Living. This stuff I just made the cost a little bit more nerfed in a sense. I think for Command the Living, I don't think I touched it. Which I should, because I should see what that command scroll has, if I have one. It probably is the same, but yeah. Elemental Grasp, I didn't touch it. I think I touched the mana cost, the magic cost, that's it. Life Drain, same thing. I think I touched the magic cost, that's it. And Mark Thy Soul, again, touched the magic cost. And this will actually help because if you remember in Knights of the Nine Revelation, you needed Soul Trap, which this will actually help out in the future thing. But yeah. So if I ever do need to have an extra spell added to my kit, it's going to be added to the amulet, because the amulet has 18 lesser powers attached to it, which, as you can see, like 6 are self, 6 are touch, and 6 are target. I didn't show the targets yet, but you get the point, right? Like it adds an extra kit that you can utilize, and then it also adds the quicken stuff, and it also adds the Dramination on top of that, right? So it helps you on top of increasing your stuff, right? So that's actually really, really beneficial for us, kind of thing. So that's like, while the Regalia gives you, I think it's 18 spells. Yeah, it gives you 18 spells. Pretty much. And then the necklace gives you, and the amulet gives you obviously 20 spells, because it gives you 18 lesser powers, same thing as the Regalia, but also gives you 2 spells. So again, the amulet's just like a kit booster, pretty much. And because the Regalia / the Dark King's armor both give you the same spells, or the same kit kind of thing, it makes a lot of sense that the amulet would be just an enhancer kind of thing. So obviously Calm the Living and Frenzy the Living are two different. Now this is because of how this is more of a personal preference for the reason why these costs are completely different. So Calm, I believe, makes sense for us, considering the fact that I'm also taking into account of the Dark King's armor, which has a natural regeneration if you use the scroll or use the spell kind of thing, right? To have 100 magicka always constantly. So that's how I'm thinking of this as well, right? Where because you want to be able to use some of these spells through that armor as well, this makes a lot of sense to me to have, because Calm is obviously a very nice effect. And then Frenzy, at which given point do you need to have 100 magicka to make a bunch of people in a 25 feet be very, very like crazy enough to attack everything on sight? Very little chance you ever need to do that. And then obviously we have the elemental attacks too. We have Nova Nova Burst, Lightning Devastation, and Frost Burst, which are just like 200 points on target. which are just like which are very overpowered in terms of in-game stuff. But remember, this is just like par for the course kind of thing, and they all have the same cost. Even though, in my opinion, some of them should be like weaker than others, because frost and fire are not as cool looking as lightning. Lightning has a bigger area, which means it should have a higher cost. That's just me. And destructive force is just a spell that I made a long time ago, which I think the only thing that I would change out of this to make it much more viable is get rid of the drain for either absorb or damage, just so it just does extra damage, because drain doesn't do what I thought it did. So there's that too. Other than that, I think that's pretty much everything. Also, the other thing I wanted to mention about the touch stuff. So this is the same thing that I think I had the same reasoning for Cursed Hand, and I don't know if anybody else will agree with me, the reasoning why. So when I go into looking at this kind of thing, so if I look at this stuff, the way that I balance these spells out in general is I look at how you can achieve them, right? So self, obviously it's always going to be guaranteed. If you can cast on yourself, you can be able to use it. So if I want to cast Elemental Barrier, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, right? That's pretty simple. So let's say I want to cast, let's say, Death's Embrace. It's pretty easy if you can be able to hit the target through a distance. It's much more achievable and less threatening to use target than it is using the final thing, which is touch.